Three names, three careers, and possibly three emotional goodbyes that no one saw coming, at least not anytime soon. Falcons fans, it's that time of year again. Training camp is knocking on Flowery Branch's door, and with it comes the harsh reality of roster cuts. But this time, the spotlight isn't on the rookies fighting for a spot. It's on the veterans, the guys who've been through the grind and now find themselves on the brink. I'll tell you all about it in detail, but first, be sure to hit that like button so I can keep you updated. Now, we're talking about D'Angelo Malone, Younghoe Koo, and Taquan Graham. And if you think these decisions will be easy or expected, think again. Let's begin with D'Angelo Malone. Drafted in the third round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of Western Kentucky, Malone came in with the kind of college resume that made fans hopeful. An all-conference USA linebacker who made plays and caused havoc. But in the NFL, the numbers never translated. 18 solo tackles and 1 sack in his rookie season remain his career highs. And in a league where production equals survival, that's a tough pill to swallow. What makes it worse? The Falcons didn't just draft one but two edge rushers, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., who are already turning heads in camp. Add to that the signing of Leonard Floyd, and you have a crowded room where Malone suddenly feels like the odd man out. But Malone's story, while tough, might not sting as much as what's unfolding with Younghoe Koo. Koo isn't just a name. He's a fan favorite, a clutch kicker who, until recently, felt like one of the most reliable legs in football. Since joining Atlanta in 2019, Koo has been the kind of kicker you trust in crunch time. But last season, things changed. Only 25 of 34 kicks made, and the one thing that separated Koo from the rest, consistency, was gone. He ended the season injured, and while that may have bought him some grace, it didn't stop the front office from bringing in competition. Enter Lenny Krieg, a kicker with roots in European football and the German Football League. And he didn't just audition, he earned a 3-year contract. Meanwhile, Koo still carries a sizable contract on the books, and it's hard not to feel like the writing's on the wall. Now, Taquan Graham. If you blinked over the past 2 seasons, you might have missed his name entirely. Drafted in the 5th round in 2021, the former Texas Longhorn entered the league with potential but has failed to gain traction. Only 12 tackles and a single sack over the last 2 seasons? That's not going to cut it on a defense that's being reshaped from the ground up. The Falcons have retooled their defensive line, and the message is clear: produce or get replaced. Graham hasn't done enough, and with younger, more versatile options coming in, his window might be closing fast. But roster cuts are just the beginning of the drama swirling around the Atlanta Falcons this offseason. Because the most intriguing subplot? It isn't even on the field, it's in the quarterback room. Kirk Cousins is still here, still wearing the black and red, still holding onto a role that feels more symbolic than practical. After the Steelers chose Aaron Rodgers over him, the trade market for Cousins evaporated. And now, the Falcons are on the hook for a $27.5 million backup quarterback. Think about that. They're paying Cousins superstar money to hold a clipboard. And while GM Terry Fontenot publicly insists the team is comfortable with the situation, behind the scenes, it's a financial headache that's only going to get worse. Next season, Cousins' cap hit balloons to $57.5 million with a $35 million dead cap. One way or another, he won't be around in 2026. But there's a twist. If Michael Penix Jr. struggles, and let's not forget, 4 of Atlanta's first 5 games are against playoff teams from last year, don't be surprised if the whispers start. Don't be shocked if the calls for Cousins get louder. ESPN's Dan Graziano even noted that this very scenario is why Atlanta should have pushed harder to move Cousins during the offseason. So now, the Falcons are walking a tightrope. Cousins has been professional, supportive, and outwardly composed. But that's the public face. Behind closed doors? We don't know. What we do know is this: he wants to start. He thought Pittsburgh might be that opportunity. And now, the only real hope is if New Orleans steps up after Derek Carr's sudden retirement, or if someone else's starter goes down during camp. And if you thought that was the only name floating in trade talks, think again. Tyler Allgeier, yes, the same guy who racked up 1,000 yards as a rookie, is now on the block. Why? Because with Bijan Robinson in the lead role, Allgeier becomes expendable. He averaged 4.7 yards per carry last season, is entering a contract year, and the Falcons are unlikely to re-sign him. If another team comes calling with a tempting offer, Fontenot might just pick up the phone. There's a storm brewing in Atlanta, and it's not just about who stays or goes. It's about what this team wants to be in 2025. Young talent is being trusted more than ever before. Rookies like Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. aren't just here to learn, they're here to lead. And when you consider the Falcons gave up a 2026 first-round pick to land Pierce, the pressure on these young stars is already sky-high. They're expected to produce immediately. And fans, here's the question for you. Do you think cutting or trading these veterans is the right move for Atlanta? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The stakes have never been higher for a rookie class in Atlanta. With expectations sky high and the NFC South wide open, the Falcons are betting big on young talent. And let's be clear, this isn't a slow build situation. It's win now, or at the very least, be competitive enough to show real progress. Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. weren't drafted to sit. They were brought in to solve a problem the Falcons have battled for years, a non-existent pass rush. Last season, Atlanta sat near the bottom in sacks and quarterback pressures. That can't happen again, not with a schedule front-loaded with playoff-caliber opponents and national spotlight games early in the season. Walker is already being viewed as a foundational piece. And Pierce? He cost the Falcons a future first-round pick. That's not just investment, that's pressure. Every snap he plays will be dissected. Every missed tackle or blown coverage, magnified. But if he hits, if he turns that potential into production, he could become a game changer. It doesn't stop there. Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr. are battling to line up next to Pro Bowl safety Jesse Bates III. The competition in the secondary is fierce, and for a team that struggled to defend the deep ball in 2024, they need one of those rookies to step up. Immediately. These aren't depth picks, they're solutions. And let's not forget the overarching narrative here. This team is chasing its best season since the Super Bowl run in 2016. The last playoff appearance was 2017. The window isn't just open, it's demanding results. Head coach Raheem Morris knows what's at stake. So does Fontenot. They've retooled the roster, invested in the trenches, and tried to balance veteran leadership with rookie explosiveness. But with all of this change, the locker room has to buy in. And the fans? They have to believe again. So here's the final call. Do you think this blend of youth and urgency is the formula for success in Atlanta? Will these rookies rise to the occasion and justify the bold moves the front office has made? If you believe in this new era, if you're riding with the Falcons in 2025, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and join the conversation in the comments. Let's build something special together, one snap, one game, one victory at a time. Go Falcons!